Hello, my name is Frans. I am living in Belgium and I'm a Shiatsu practitioner and a Shiatsu therapist and a Shiatsu teacher. I live in Belgium since all my life, but the first Shiatsu class I've ever did was in the United States, and that was in 1972 already. That's some time ago. I studied with Bill Painter, with Michio Kushi, Shizuko Yamamoto and Ohashi Sensei at that time. When I came back from the States, where I stayed for about 2 years, I started first a health food restaurant, which for me is very important too, because in combination with Shiatsu, healthy food and, as they call it here, macrobiotics, or seishoku as they call it in Japanese, is very important. So I first started a health food restaurant, which I did for about 7 years, which I stopped. I sold the business, and with that I could go to Japan, where I studied more in the Yokai Shiatsu school of Masunaga Sensei with Kimura Sensei and Suzuki Sensei. After I came back from Japan, I started my practice, I started a school, and I founded, together with a couple of my colleagues, I founded the Belgian Shiatsu Federation. Meanwhile, being in Belgium, I went to many seminars in Europe, all over Europe, with different Shiatsu teachers. I studied with Kimura Sensei, again I studied with Harada Sensei, which I met occasionally for 2 years, who has a very special style of Jigen Ryu related to martial arts. And then in the 90s I met Kishi Sensei, who was teaching his very particular Shiatsu style, which was called Seiki. So altogether I have been studying with different Western and Japanese teachers, and that was of course for a big extent the basis of my own practice. My own practice is very specific, but it doesn't have a name. I just practice, and I must say that lately more and more the Seiki influence is getting bigger and bigger in my work. I see that in European Shiatsu, the tendency, you have two tendencies actually, a tendency to get more and more to Chinese medicine and make things more and more complicated and more theoretical, and another way who goes more the energetic way and make things more simple, practical and effective. Next to my Shiatsu practice, I also, as I said, helped and founded the Belgian Shiatsu Federation, which became a member of the European Shiatsu Federation a couple of years later. At this moment, I am the president of the European Shiatsu Federation after being the secretary for some time. Which means that I'm also involved in politics, and for me politics is very important because I want to establish Shiatsu and get Shiatsu recognized as a profession in Belgium, in Europe and in all European countries. For that we are lobbying in Brussels, in my case both in Brussels as well on the national as the European level, and I must say that we make good progress there. I invite you to contact your national organization to have more information about that, but I must say that more and more Shiatsu and Shiatsu practice has a good reputation with politicians and doctors nowadays. I think that's about most what I want to say about myself. Of course I have a family, I'm married, I have one son, and I'm very close to my retirement, so I have just one message to the younger people who are interested and involved in Shiatsu. Please prepare yourself to take over the task and the business that we are doing, and to establish the value and the work that we've done throughout the coming years and the coming decades in Europe, because we are standing in front of big changes on the social and also on the scientific and the medical level. So I'm sure that we count on you, and we hope that you can continue our work. Thank you. Meanwhile, I hope that we can meet at some time in one of my Shiatsu classes in Belgium or abroad in Europe. And at the meantime, we can meet at vitalitytao.com.